What's up, everybody, and welcome to part 14 of our AI in StarCraft II with Python tutorial series. In the previous video, we talked about all the changes that we're going to be working on, and in this video, we're going to be working specifically on improving the scouting. So the scouting that we had been doing was pretty stupid, and we're going to make it a little better. Not perfect, but a little better. So with that, let's get into it. This one's going to take a minute or two, so let's go. So first of all, we're going to do self in the init method, self.scouts and spots. And that's going to be a dictionary that tracks the ID. So all the units have this attribute of a .tag, and that is a sort of unique ID to that unit. So we're going to use that and store into scouts and spots that ID tag and the location of that unit, so we can kind of keep track of where our scouts are. And then when they die or whatever, we can iterate through things and remove the scouts that no longer exist, and then we can have new scouts fill their spots and stuff like that. And then also we want to scout again. You want to send the first scout to the enemy base, and then you want to send subsequent scouts to the expansions of that base. So I'm just going to go to expansion zones that are by distance, closest to the expansion, or closest to the enemy start location. So we are going to be rewriting our scout method here. I don't think we're going to be using anything here except for maybe this code, but we'll put that in a different method entirely. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete it all. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, we want to have an self.expand disdir, and that'll just be an empty directory. And I thought this would be quicker. The setup of this will be, the key is the distance to the enemy start, and the value is the actual location object itself. And now what we want to do is to begin iterating over expansion locations, which are something that it's located in our actual object. So for EL expansion location in self.expansion_locations, what do we want to do? Well, we want to calculate the distance. Why is that already? Oh, okay, it's because it's in our dictionary. I was like, how does it already know that? Distance to enemy start is equal to el.distance. Actually, it's distance _2. So el, recall, is an expansion location object, right? And it has a method of distance to. And now we can figure out what's the distance to whatever we pass here. So we're going to say self.enemy start location 0, and so self.enemy start location 0. So wherever that first enemy started, and we only have one, so we're going to use that guy. So now we've got the distance. Now we want to add that to our expand disdir. So self.expand disdir, and then the key is the distance to enemy start, and the value is L. So now what we want to do is, once we've got all of those in there, the keys are the actual distances. So self.ordered expansion distances is going to be the sorted list of K for K in self.expand disdir. So all we're doing is just sorting the keys, and then we can start iterating through those sorted keys to figure out the next one to go with. Now, as of Python 3.7, you can trust and rely on dictionary orders. Unfortunately, we can't use Python 3.7 yet with Python SE2 due to some WebSockets things, so I can't rely on that yet. So this is the kind of hacky way that we're going to go about it. I'm sure somebody can come up with a way better method for Scout here, and feel free to share it. Okay, so now that we have that sorted. The next thing we want to do is check all of our current unit IDs. So I'm going to say existing IDs is equal to unit.tag for unit in self.unit. So we're going to grab the tag of everything. So the way that we're going to learn how, or we're going to figure out who we need to remove from self.scouts and spots is, again, scouts and spots is going to be a dictionary of the unit tag, and the location that that unit's at. So all we need to do is iterate over the tags in scouts and spots, and then find out if any of the IDs or tags in scouts and spots don't exist in our self.units. If they don't, well, that unit unfortunately has moved to a better place. So those are the, so now that we have the existing IDs, we're going to say to be removed. For now is an empty list, but it's going to be populated. So for noted scout in self.scouts in spots. So that's, you know, for the ones that we know about, and these noted scout is the scout ID. If noted scout not in existing IDs, then we need to be removed dot append that noted scout. Finally, for scout in to be removed, we want to del self dot scouts and spots that scout, because now we want some other scout to be able to take that scout's position at wherever he was or she was manned. Now, he or she manned. Anyways, okay, so if len of self.units robotics facility dot ready is equal to 0. So if we don't have any, then our unit type, I'm going to say unit type equals probe. Otherwise, let me undercase that there. Unit type equals probe. And we're going to say unit limit equals 1. We don't want to send all of our probes to scout. So like when we have observers, we want all of the observers scouting. When we have probes, we don't want all of them scouting. We want just one. Just one. So yeah. So else unit type equals observer. And then I'm just going to, I really don't know what to think about this limit. So I'm just going to say 15. I don't know. Okay, so now we're going to set a little flag here. Assign scout is equal to true. If unit type equals probe, what we need to do is grab one of them to, we only want one to be the scout. So what I'm going to say is for unit in self.units probe, if unit.tag in self.scouts and spots, assign scout is going to be false. Now, what we're going to say is if assign scout, we're going to begin a unfortunate string of events. So if len self.units of the unit type, whatever they happen to be, dot idle is greater than 0. So again, this is only going to apply for scouts. I'm sorry, observers at scouts. Well, or one probe. Anyways, for obs, since this is usually going to be observers though, self.units unit type dot idle up to whatever the unit limit is, y. For obs in done. Thanks, editor. You know, in idle, I would have been like running this and been like, wait, what? Okay, for obs, or I'm sorry, not for obs. If obs.tag not in self.scouts and spots. Wow. Now we got something. Now what we want to do is take that list of distances and then, so it's that list of distances, and then what we want to do is start iterating through them, because those distances are in order of closest to furthest from the enemy start location, and we want to iterate over those, checking the expansion location that is that distance and seeing, do we have a scout there, yay or nay? If nay, well, let's put one there. So the way that we're going to do that is for dist in self.orderedexp distances, we're going to engage in a try except exception as e print a string e, if you want to be decent. Otherwise, you can just pass. What we're going to say is location is equal to next value for key value in self dot expand distir dot items, and that's if key is equal to the distance. So this is the way that we're going to find the value, which, recall, expand disdir, the key is the distance, the value is the actual expansion location. So this is how I'm searching a dictionary for a value. Pause. Can I not? Hold on. I'm about to be really angry at myself. It's late today. I'm going to take a little bit of credit for it being late, but this would be how you would look up for a key by value, but I'm looking for a value location. Next, value for key, value. Why would you ever do this? I'm pretty sure I'm going to be so angry if I go down this road, but the location really should just be expand disdir. And you're looking it up by the distance. That should be acceptable. That should give you the location. Okay, the show must go on. Active locations is equal to self.scouts and spots k 4k in self.scouts and spots. Man, this is still bothering me. How did I make that mistake when I went through this the first time? I mean, that code works, but as I started saying why I was doing it, I'm like, oh, no. Okay, anyways, too much. Okay, so if location, not in active locations, if unit type equals probe, I can't get over this. For unit in self.units probe, whoops. If unit.tag in self.scouts and spots, continue. Then await self.do obs.move to that location. Then we're going to update self.scouts and spots obs.tag equals that location. And then we are done with this little loop here, and we want to break. Woo! Okay, so something is gravely wrong here. And I don't want to talk about it. So, okay, so now what we want to do is, let me scroll down here, make sure I don't mess up anything more. I'm still reeling over that code there. There's got it. I also feel like something's going wrong here, but I'm not going to try to live fix that one at the moment. So finally, the last thing I want us to do in this method is going to be in line here. So 2 tabs over. So after we're done with assigning scout, what we want to do is for obs in self.units unit type, if obs.tag in self.scouts and spots, if obs in probe for probe in self.units probe, await self.do, and this really is the exact same code that we had before. So actually we do save that. I'm going to just paste that in. So self.do obs.move self.random location variance, and then it's that that random location variance function, which I think I kept. And in this case, instead, I'm just going to say x and y is plus equals a random.rand range of -5 to +5. And cool. I think that's really all we need there. And then finally, build. So we don't have the build scout. So the last thing I want to add is a build scout method. And so this is what we're going to do to actually scout. And at least for the time being, I'm going to use this temporary function. You can go to the text-based version of the tutorial. But this right now, we're just going to build a scout for every 3 minutes that has elapsed. So if it's 9 minutes into the game, we're going to expect to have 3 scouts. So I'm going to take build scout and I'm going to throw that right before the scout method. Await self.build scout. And I think we're done. I still can't get over that code. Oh boy. Someone's gonna have a fit. Many people will have fits. If you write perfect code on your first pass, let me know. But if I don't think anybody's had that problem. So at least the way that I came across that was, at first I had that dictionary was kind of structured a little different. Oh, we do hidden error. Okay, we need to import math. That's an easy bug. I don't mind that bug. Import math. Anyway, at first it was a differently structured dictionary, so I was actually searching for a key by value, and then later I flipped them, and then all I had to do was go down into that method and just change the words around, because then I was looking for the value by the key. And yeah, that's how that resulted. That's pretty funny. As I'm running through that, I'm like, wait, this is what a dictionary does. I should edit this out and never share this with anybody and just not talk about it ever again, but that's okay. So we can see here, this is our little worker, and he is heading into enemy territory, doing his job quite well. So I think he's hanging out. I can't tell anymore. I don't even know if he's there. How would I tell? I don't even know. Is this our guy? I think this is our guy right here. He's just bebopping around. I wish they would kill him so we'd send another one, but I don't think they're gonna. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's our unit. Yeah. Okay, they just killed him. And we'll see. So this guy looks like he's setting up another base. And then how long are we? So we're 3 minutes in. So here we go. We're sending in yet another worker unit. Great. Everything's working as we would expect. I still can't. I can't. Oh, wow, I think he was destroyed immediately. And we're going to send another one in. That's all right. What I'm really waiting on is the observer unit to come in. And I want to see how that goes. Make sure the observers start coming in and going into where they need to be. Why is the game time so slow? We must have some crappy logic going on here. The game time is just not going very fast. Maybe once we produce an observer, that'll be fixed. It almost looks like it has been fixed. Although there goes another. So we've got our first observer coming out. Things are going faster, but interestingly enough, it happened before the observer. Anyway, I'm sure there's something wrong with that code. You can clearly tell I was having a mental breakdown as that code was coming up. So we got one scout up. Okay, here comes the second scout. So we'll see where this guy, because he already has his orders, and I don't think that other scout will be even seen. I'm not even sure they'll be expanded to the location yet. I'm going to be really angry if he... Okay, good. I was like, if he goes to that base... So yeah, so he's posted up at the first reasonable expansion, but they just simply haven't expanded. But we would catch it if they did. So you can even see we're right here at the mineral spot. That would probably be the next place, although actually it looks like this is the next place. And to be honest, like looking at the map, this looks closer. So that's probably also unfortunate. And I think if you look at the pathing that you could take, like this expansion is the safest next expansion to take. This one, because I think this one only still has like 1 or 2 areas that you could get in. This one has like 3 or 4. And then as you go out, it's like you just totally open to attack in a lot of spots. But anyway, this guy's going to cover that next spot, no problem. And the AI has already been defeated. All right, so, okay. We at least are scouting how we wanted to. Wow, we really did just totally dominate. We got 19, 16 void rays, now 17 void rays. Wow, that was like, how many minutes was that? That was not very long before we, wow. That was a good game. Anyway, I think that's it. Someone feel free to comment below. I still feel like something is wrong. Like I'm throwing flags here. Someone help me out. I think this will be the last tutorial for the day. But yeah, that's interesting. And nobody speak of this ever again. I'm going to delete all comments that reference that, I think. Okay, anyways, that's all for now. Questions, comments, suggestions for improvement, whatever, feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, I will see you guys in another video.